Welcome to the Human
Welcome to
Resources in
today's
Practice
session. My
online
name is
program.
Omolola
My
Elsie
name is
Oluwale, and
Omalola
I trust
Elsie,
that you are having
CEO
fun
of Lighthouse
enjoying the
Our
Human
Company.
Resource in Practice program. Today, we'll be looking at employee engagement and relations. All right, we'll be engaging with key principles of the human resource function called the employee engagement rather, and relations function, which which has to do with ensuring that individual employees, teams, groups within the workplace are enjoying themselves in alignment with the organization's goals and objective, as well as their personal goals and objective. I hope you've been enjoying the human resource in practice program so far. All right, so let's go right into it. In order for your employees to be happy, as an aspiring human resource practitioner or administrative operations personnel, or you're aspiring to do, work in an organization within the office space, one way or the other, you will deal with employees, you will deal with your colleagues, you will deal with supervisors, executives, even subordinates, depending on the cadre you're working in. All right. So please bear in mind that this is not just about me being an HR practitioner, this is about you also helping improving your knowledge, gaining more knowledge on how to deal with people within the work environment. So, an happy and a productive employee are good for business. An happy employee, a productive employee, or happy employees, productive employees are good for business. Okay. However, few workplaces, well, regardless of what climes that you are listening in or you're taking this course from, few workplaces manage to maintain high engagement levels of their employees. When a workplace or an office or a business, an organization, when that particular workplace employee engagement is high, it is sure that businesses will see better investment return. This cannot be overemphasized. So it's like a give or take kind of thing, or a give and take kind of thing. So please bear in mind, when your employees are, engaged, when they are happy, when they are productive, you will see it in their end result. And in turn, the business sees better investment returns. So anywhere you see in the opposite, anywhere you see a disengaged workforce, a disengaged staff, in turn, you will know that this will lead to lower day-to-day productive losses. That is sure. You will see your colleagues experiencing a lot of mistakes, including you as an HR practitioner, all right, or an administrative support staff or an operations staff. You begin to see your colleagues make a lot of mistakes. And if you are the individual that is not fully engaged, we're going to go into what engagement means, but an employee who is not engaged at all will begin to experience each day productive losses. There's either one error here or one mistake here or one miscalculation here, and all that. The organization is surely going to experience operational inefficiency. We have an ultimate sky high employee attrition rate where people just exit the company as they like. So it now looks as if your business, even maybe for example, you are a CEO here, you're a business owner, a founder, and you're taking on this course, you find out that your the rate at which people leave your businesses, go is so high, and then you are wondering what exactly is happening. I'm paying them salaries, I've done all that I can do, I've motivated them, but the question is that are your employees, are your colleagues engaged in your business? Now, briefly, we will talk a lot more about different perspective or definitions or meaning of what employee engagement and relation means. But briefly, before we go further and deeper into the session, let's just give a simple clarity on what employee engagement stands for. Okay, so what is employee engagement or employee relations? Employee engagement stands for that one individual or a group of people, a team of persons who are in alignment with the organization that they work with, and then is their willingness to invest their effort, their skills, competencies, knowledge, career experiences within the organization, through their duties and responsibilities. Furthermore, an employee who is engaged, or an employee engagement process, is when your staffs, your colleagues, your employees take it as their responsibility to go above and beyond their call of duty. So they don't just stay within the confines of, oh, it is my job is ABCDEF. They will go beyond F to do the rest of the task. Okay. So where they go beyond and above the call of duty in order to achieve overall organizational objectives. I hope you understand this. Now, every workforce who is engaged, within an organization actively will invest in the organization, invest in themselves, and in turn the employer or the organization itself must understand that in order to have an engaged employee or an engaged team, must actively invest in the well-being of their staff, not once or just one-time activity that merely attempts to boost employee retention. Oh, let's just do it because we just want to boost the retention. We don't want people to leave us. No, do it because it is more than just that one-time activity, but rather it's a culture. All right. And on the job satisfaction, we don't just want our staffs or your staff to be, oh, they're just experiencing job satisfaction. We want to boost their retention rate. We want to give them cash bonuses and increase their salaries. It's beyond that. What happens is that for you to have a solid, employee engagement within the organization where your employees go beyond and above the call of duty, there are multiple things to be there are multiple activities to engage with, so that you not only have quality retention as regards your staff stay and they're beyond job satisfied, they are doing things, to improve themselves as well, to engage the organization for better productivity as well as performance. So such strategy or concept or activity could be an incorporation of multiple things like monitoring your staff performance, helping them to increase and monitor their productivity rates, ensuring that they are happy. Okay, people are finding new ways to empower themselves, to improve the organization. You also, as an HR practitioner, administrator, operations personnel, or whatever you are doing within the office space, the accountant, you also are ensuring that your people are empowered to do their best at work, both as a team as and also as individuals. I hope we have this clear. Now, it is critical to understand that whether you are a CEO or a supervisor, or you're an entry level junior management staff, the key point here is that the place to start engaging is with yourself. All right. So engagement is contagious. If you are engaged, if you as a human resource practitioner, operations, administrative personnel, the owner of the business, the founder, the CEO, you're part of, the executive management, regardless of what cadre you are in, the best place to start engagement is with yourself. So engagement is contagious. If you are engaged in what you are doing, all right, if you are going beyond and above, the call of duty, people also will pick up on your excitement and will want to join you. So also is the other way around. If you are lackadaisical about your work, you are lagging behind, people also will contact that and they will leech on to this and they will do exactly as you are doing. So if you really want people to pick up on your excitement, ensure that you also are excited in carrying on your duties and responsibilities within the workspace. So HR practitioners, hear me. Take up the personal responsibility and commitment to be excited about what you are doing. And if you are not excited about what you are doing, is a cue for you to move on to other things. Do something that quite excites you, because that's the beginning of every form of engagement within a space. All right. Now, if we want to have an overview of what employee engagement and relation is about, we are talking about employees' commitment to their work. Okay. We're looking at a motivated employee. We are looking at job satisfaction. You're asking key questions like, are your employees or are your subordinates, your supervisors, are we satisfied with our work? what are the psychological, contracts within the organization that will help employees to be further committed in taking up their responsibility. I hope we are getting this point, because it is critical at this point that each and every one of us get this right from the beginning. All right. Now, if you want to go further to establishing what it really entails to engage with your employees, or ensure that your employees are engaged, one of the key things you understand is that employee engagement is a form of ensuring or establishing that employees' positive and emotional attachment to the job can be measured. All right. If we talk about employee engagement, we are also asking key questions: that how do we measure employees' positive or negative emotional attachment to the things they do within the office environment? The colleagues and the organizations, together, what kind of profound influences, and their willingness to learn and to perform at their task or at their job within the work environment. These are key questions you also must be able to ask and also provide answers to. An engaged employee is somebody who is fully involved in the work, who is enthusiastic about the work, who this individual, either male or female, the way they work and the way they act in such a way that further, increases the organization's interest on, or interest in those employees, as well as vice versa, where the employee is fully much interested in engaging fully with that organization. So an engagement or an engaged staff is seen as somebody who has a positive attitude to the job that they have been employed to do, and their job is distinguished from both I'm just satisfied about it. I mentioned that already. I'm just satisfied. I'm committed to the work, but I'm only committed to what has been given to me. Okay. So regardless of job satisfaction could be temporary, commitment also could be temporary. All right. But when you say somebody is engaged, an employee is fully engaged and fully relates within the organization, you are saying this person is really vested into the work that they have been called to do, and even beyond that. If you would like to further know or further decipher if your employees, your colleagues, or the team within the organization are fully engaged or are beginning to feel that they are engaged, one of the key observations you should look at, you should watch out for, and questions you should ask is that the company in which this organization is the staffs are built on, the staffs are working in, how does that company or organization seek to build a partnership between themselves, their policies, their procedures, their structure, and their employees? These observations are fully to understand the commitment that the organization needs to put into its employees, and also to observe the kind of commitment that is coming out of the employee, so as to achieve the objectives and the goals of the organization. Also, you need to also observe the kind of respect that the organization has to the personal aspiration and ambition of each employee within the organization. Again, what are the key things that you need to observe to know if that entire organization is vested in ensuring that their employees are engaged? One, you need to observe if the organization, the company, seeks to build a kind of partnership between the organization and her employees. So you need to have, gain full understanding, and have a commitment to know if the organization's objectives aligns fully with that of the employee, where the employee is committed to taking the organization to the next level via achieving her objectives and the goals. And then you are also observing where the organization has respect. Does that company have respect for the personal aspirations and ambitions of the staff? So the moment you are able to have a clear understanding and both a clear understanding and you have observed these key things, then you know that that company is on their way to do what? To ensuring that their staffs are engaged, as well as they have an wholesome relationship within the organization. All right. Now, who is a fully engaged employee? Who is a fully engaged employee? In summary, one, if you say I am a fully engaged employee, what you are trying to tell me that I am intellectually and emotionally bound to that organization. All right. Everything I do, I do it not only for their growth and improvement, I also do it for my own growth and improvement. So I'm intellectually as well as emotionally attached to that organization. I give my 100%. In giving my 100%, you already see the signs that what I am invested in that company. I am an engaged staff. I feel passionately about the goals and the objectives of the company, and I am committed to live by the values of that organization. Let me take that again. One, I am committed to live by the values of the organization as long as it's not going against my values and principles, right? I should give 100% on my 1,000% if possible on the task that I do. I feel very passionately about the goals and the objectives, the values of that company. I am intellectually and emotionally bound to that organization. I give it my all. These are key signs you already know, at least basic signs you already know that this individual, this employee is an engaged employee. So when an employee goes beyond the basic job responsibility to delight the customers, ensure that they, especially if you're in a customer facing role, delight the customers, ensure they are happy, comfortable with doing business with your company, the company you work with, and then you drive business forward. Okay, you can also use that as a yardstick for beginning to show that this particular employee is fully engaged or is beginning to be engaged with the organization. Some companies have defined or have seen, when you say, when they've set up some form of standard, like a statement philosophy, that if you see this statement, if you are able to attach this particular statement to this company, then to this staff, I mean, then you know that this staff for us is engaged. Some will say that they like their staff, to show an extent to which they are discreet about the work that they do. Okay. Having been discreet about it, especially where non-disclosure is involved, where non-compete is involved, when intellectual properties are involved. An organization will say, as long as this particular staff maintains the rule of discretion and they put in effort into the work, they see them as engaged. Some will tell you that they like employees who are involved and are enthusiastic about their work. When an employee is fully involved and is enthusiastic about their work, all right. Some organizations will tell you intellectually and emotionally commitment to the organization is key for them. Knowing what to do, what work to do, and wanting to do that work fully is also key for them. Some other organizations see, employees as engaged when, they are stimulated, their enthusiasm for the kind of work that they do, is on high, is 100%. And and then these employees, directing this energy, this enthusiasm towards the success of the organization. So when you see some of these organizations define, an engaged staff as such, you know that they are, hitting it hard, as it were, and getting each day, they are getting closer and closer to achieving their goals of employee engagement. Now, work and the worker do not have to be in the same location. However, this where people talk about remote work, they are willing to work, where their bosses are not around, they are still enthusiastic to do, what they need to do. But it's key and it's crucial to understand that your as much as your work and the worker does not have to be in the same place, we also have to create a sync in ensuring that both the work and the worker are together. All right, whether remotely, leveraging technology, or ensuring that things are done appropriately, as well as with the kind of enthusiasm and joy that is required. Now, I would like us to go further and deeper into ascertaining certain behaviors, encouraging certain behaviors within the organization, within the employees to, based on their words, based on what they say, based on their staying ability with the organization, as well as not just staying, but furthermore, thriving, striving to ensure that they thrive within that business environment. See you in the next session.